One of the most interesting topics, I mean, interesting beyond anything I could ever imagine, is what is going on and what is being alleged regarding the hidden or the deepfake or the phony or the AI speeches that allegedly, putatively provide Charlie giving his last word, his desire that Erica, his wife, take over, steward the helm of TPUSA in direct contravention of and contradiction of his edict that women, mothers, should stay at home with their kids. That notwithstanding, this brings full front. What does that mean? Full frontal? That's another weird concept. This brings to the fore the issue of deepfakes, AI, and when you go back and look at everything that has been said, if I didn't know better, it's as though TPUSA is saying, yes, it's a deepfake. Of course it is. That's why we've been telling you we have all this stuff banked. And as Erica keeps saying, we have stuff nobody's ever heard of. By the way, that weird prepositional aspect means heard of versus heard. I'll go into that and why that's important, because let's face it, she's cretinous. Bless her heart. So this is, as we say in Hell's Kitchen, huge. But before, here's a word from our incredible sponsor. My friends, this is bigger than most people realize. While everyone watches missiles and fighter jets, the real battle is happening in the supply chain. Nearly every advanced U.S. weapon system depends on tungsten. Yet America has barely mined it domestically in years, while China dominates global supply. Washington is now racing to fix that. The Pentagon has committed millions toward restarting domestic tungsten production, and President Donald Trump's Project Vault initiative launched a $12 billion critical mineral strategy to secure American supply chains. That's where Vault Strategic Mining comes in. Trading as KNOX in Canada and KNXFF in the U.S., Vault is building a strategic tungsten portfolio anchored by historic Nevada projects tied to past U.S. defense production. With tungsten prices climbing and global tensions rising, this is no longer just mining, it is national security. Check out the link below to learn more, and special thanks to Vault Strategic Mining for sponsoring today's video. Now, for those who might not know this, this is one of the biggest issues, multi-layered, dare I say, concatenated, stratified. This is bigger than anything you might think at first. It sounds like, well, do they have an AI audio or video of Charlie supposedly suggesting or indicating his wishes that Erica take over? That's part of it. But it also goes to show you the complete and total ineptitude of the folks at TPUSA. Because they continue to state that a video somewhere exists showing Charlie Kirk naming his wife Erica as his successor. And here's the best part. Corporations don't do this. Corporations don't do this. Tim Cook or Steve Jobs doesn't say, by the way, when I leave, I want so-and-so to be what? It's never done. It's never done. TPUSA is not some little, I mean, to call it a little charity, it's bigger than anything you can imagine. How do they not know that that doesn't make any difference? How do they not know that what they should have done is they should have said, we had a board meeting, we all met, and we think based upon the totality of the circumstances, based upon a number of conditions, precedent and subsequent, we believe, after careful consideration, that Erica would be the best to steward the helm and blah, 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 as opposed to we're following his wishes, which in the corporate world doesn't exist. Now, remember, the organization has not publicly released the video. Why? Why do they care about this? Well, they cite donor privacy as the reason. And this decision has, of course, increased questions about the succession process. Donor privacy. as we say in West Tampa, caca del toro. If you don't want to do that, pixelate it or change your voice. That's not AI. That's more like editing, which people will understand. Now, some careful, thoughtful, brilliant observers and analysts, including Candace Owens, have raised concerns about the possible use of artificial intelligence to create audio or video of Charlie Kirk purportedly, allegedly, putatively, seemingly saying this. 1 month after Charlie's demise, Erica appeared on his program, and she stated that the organization possessed decades of his voice recordings, unused speeches, pre-recorded Sunday specials, and material from events in Korea and Japan. And she said that her husband had recorded everything and that additional content would be released. 8 months later, that material has not appeared. Now, also, let me explain to you. Why would you say that? We have this stuff banked. It's, I don't know what the word is. It's like, not that we have a series of volumes of books, unpublished, or from the musical vault. If God forbid something happened to Sir Paul or Mick Jagger or something, we have all of these unlisted, unprovoked. What am I saying? These unreleased songs. That's something from the vault, But a lot of these messages are pretty much timely sometimes, and I'm not saying they have necessarily a shelf life to them, so they don't have, I don't know about the marketability, and it's a weird idea. See, forgive me as I get ahead of myself, which I want to do. TPUSA gets themselves into trouble. The very fact that Erica Kirk is here is the problem with all this. Had she just moved on and collected her 10, 50, 20, 30, whatever, $50 million, whatever it is, and raised her kids, made sure they're not psychologically devastated from the fact that their father was shot down like a dog, and that they're invariably going to be seeing, if not have not seen, this scene over and over, this Zapruder horror. Had she just kind of backed up, or God forbid, come out and talked about anything but herself. Had she come out and said, we've got to go out and help people, we've got to spread the good word, or not pepper her phrases and her stage and her speeches with these artificially contrived Jesus, don't forget, say Jesus, and like the famous scene where Charlie was saying, and that's why I'm a virgin, right, honey? You too? Got to praise Jesus. Yeah, I got that, but the question is, you were a virgin too, right, honey? Praise the Lord. Oh, gee, that was tough to see through. I don't think we need Columbo for that one. So anyway, back to the ranch. Mikey McCoy. Oh, this guy. What was the selection process that got, forget Erica. Who picked this jadrul? Mikey McCoy, a TPUSA rep, also described large amounts, volumes of unposted, unpublished, unheard content from Charlie Kirk's daily recordings and weekly speeches. Those recordings remain unavailable. And during an interview with Megyn Kelly, Erica recounted a donor event in Aspen. See, why do you have to say this? Why do you have to tell people? Because once they start talking, there's no breaks. There's no executive function that makes them say, that's not what I meant, or no, that's not it, or no, there is no such thing. They create these problems. I think part because they're stupid, they're children, they've been kind of led to believe that somehow they're imbued or protected by some chocolate coating of, godlike protection or something. They can say whatever they want. They don't have to worry about it. They don't have to be inconsistent. They're TPUSA. They've gotten away with murder. That was an interesting phrase, wasn't it? Ooh, Mr. Pun here. Mr. Freud, Paige, that put me in the penitentiary. All right, little paranomasia there. Very, very, very punny in any event. But Erica told Megan, she said that Charlie told attendees at this great Aspen meeting. Remember, we have the Aspen meeting and we've got the Hampton meeting. Remember the Aspen meeting. She told the attendees that TPUSA would become vision-led rather than founder-led, and that Erica would do a good job leading it. No public recording of Charlie Kirk making that exact statement has been provided. Of course not. Why? Because of the donor privacy, or because it doesn't exist. And not only that, there seems to be this new industry of people saying, that's AI, that's AI, that's AI. If I post a thumbnail showing Charlie Kirk riding a dinosaur with angel wings, they write, created by AI. No kidding. Really? But you don't do that with Canva. You don't do that with Photoshop. You don't do that with, but there's this AI sensitivity. There was a news station recently that either part or all of their news stories was AI written. And I mean, we have this AI allergy. That's why they're thinking, eh. So now, gee, these guys, most probably, or I wouldn't be surprised if they say, what the hell are we supposed to do with this stuff from Charlie? What? We said we had this recording. What do we do with this? Who said that? Who of you brain surgeons said this? Don't you know that you can't put anything out? But I thought it sounded so good. No, it doesn't sound good. Why do you do this? Who came up with this idea of Charlie letting people know? You should have just had the board met and we say, we picked Erica. That's it. End of discussion. Oh, yeah. And Charlie said that was great too. Because when you bring up Charlie, they're making it sound like these were his, it's like a corporate will, like some testamentary wish after the fact, which last time I checked, I don't think so. I don't think Jack Welch or some big shot is going to pick, I don't think Warren Buffett's going to say, and by the way, my old lady would be great running this thing. Yeah, right. So here's the thing, which is the most important. This is critical. All of this stuff is so fantastic. No public recording of Charlie Kirk making these statements has been provided. And the organization played audio of Charlie Kirk at an event for Erica's introduction as CEO. And apparently, and it showed a separate video privately, they say, to a Daily Mail reporter. And the reporter later confirmed the video's existence based on that viewing and conversations with 3 donors. The full video, by the way, has not been made public. Now, I don't want to get too specific about this, but you could say, yeah, I saw that video. Yeah, I saw a video. Yeah, you're right about that. Even in court, rudimentary, one of the first rules of evidence, you have to authenticate pictures. Is this a true and accurate depiction? Is this a true and accurate depiction? Is this photo of you standing there with this person a true and accurate depiction of what occurred? Is this you? Yes, that is me. That's called authentication. That you do this for everything. Is this the document? Is this his signature? I was there. Did you see it? Hell, they do that even better when you take baseball cards. Here's a picture of Pete Rose signing my baseball. This is rudimentary, but yet we're not supposed to ask that because you're a conspiracy theorist. You see, Blake Neff, another piece of work, a TPUSA official, wrote that people close to Charlie already knew his wishes and that a public video was not required. Again, what corporate ideation involves giving me your wishes? He noted, of course, that the board and the donors supported Erica Kirk, of course. And there are other donors. Donors contacted individuals who attended the the Aspen event. And according to some of these folks, those individuals recalled the question about succession, but said that Charlie did not name Erica in his response. So that's interesting. One of these donors in particular has called for the release of the raw video with donor faces blacked out if necessary. Duh. Andrew Colvett, another one, each one better. Where did they get these people? Andrew Colvett, another part of the brain trust from the cognoscenti, he said the organization had received proposals for AI projects involving Charlie, but rejected them. Why are you bringing this up? Why are you bringing it? Because they talk so much. Remember the old Italian Sicilian expression, if you can get in trouble for saying a little, think what happens if you say a lot. And then separately, there were reports indicating that the production director met with a Los Angeles visual effects company that works on voice cloning and deepfake technology. And old episodes of the Charlie Kirk Show and some debate footage have been removed from platforms and later restored after public criticism. So the organization has stated it maintains archives of Charlie's work. And then Candace, by the way, who is just on fire. How about the Hunter Biden interview coming up? But I don't want to get ahead of the game here. Candace has asked for all public release of the video. She has requested and questioned, I should say, rather, if the audio and the video materials align with the statements made by Charlie Kirk during his lifetime. Remember, all of this is because they brought it up. Charlie frequently described Erica as a strong wife and mother, but did not publicly discuss her as his organizational successor or his dream successor. And officials at TPUSA say the video and the donor accounts confirm her role. They argue, of course, that skepticism, including claims of artificial intelligence, does not require further public proof. Wait a minute, what? What? Everybody's asking you to prove what it is you're saying, and they say, but we don't need the proof. No, they're asking you. They're demanding it. You see, is it because they're children? Are they stupid? Is it something is there some genetic defect, this logic matrix, this module that doesn't make linear thinking capable for these mere mortals? Maybe they're reptilian. Maybe they're not human. Maybe they don't follow the same sense of inherent urgency that we do. You know, a bunch of donors have expressed frustration, and some have said they will reduce or stop political donations due to the handling of this matter and other inconsistencies. So the central issue remains the unreleased video. If released in full, okay, in toto, with appropriate privacy protections, nobody wants to hear anybody else, it could address many current questions. No. And without this particular provision, doubts and inquiries and suspicions about the succession process and the use of Charlie Kirk's image and voice will continue. And this situation, of course, involves a major, huge nonprofit organization funded by public donations. And questions about leadership transition and content authenticity affect its credibility, dare I say, and future direction. My dear friend, further developments will be reported as more information becomes available. This is one of the things. So in conclusion, so to speak, all of this was brought. They're not hoist by their own petard, but they created the controversy that now they run away from. They don't think what they say. If you can get in trouble for saying a little, think what happens if you say a lot. There is no centralized voice of the organization. There's not a centralized voice. There's not one person, an adult, somebody who has a couple of brain cells, maybe kind of something you can put together, like neurons, a synapse, a little logic. Somebody who's not 12 years old, who's not just loving this, being on TV and just talking. Somebody whose head and heart and brains are kind of connected. Maybe if you had one central voice that said, no, we're not going to keep telling people how we've got Charlie's voices and speech banked. It's weird. What does that mean? Oh, don't worry. He's banked. Is that for what? Are you speaking as a publisher or the leader of a? I mean, when Mohandas Gandhi, when JFK, when Martin Luther King was struck down, they said, "Don't worry, we got plenty of his speeches." No, 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 no. How about the collapse of the movement? And even Erica says these things that are so weird. You know, I miss his voice. You miss his voice? His voice? How about him? How about your children miss? I know because she's just stupid. I mean, look, call it what it is. She's just stupid, and we keep expecting for her to act her age, for her to have to be imbued with all that she's done, leading, orphanages, which we don't talk about anymore. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that something? These Romanian orphanages and all these organizations, and she's an entrepreneur. She was a real estate mogul. From a person who's been involved since day one, she doesn't really know what's going on. It's the most bizarre thing. But in addition to all of this stuff, one of the things that she said, and again, I'm being priggish, I'm pedantic, I'm punctilious, I can't say it. I can't. I mean, I admit it. She keeps saying, and we have so many, you can say, I keep seeing the tissue. And we have so many tapes that nobody's heard of. And we have voices and speeches nobody's heard of. Heard of? What do you mean of? It's heard. Heard of means like we've never heard of the fact that he's done speeches. We've never heard of these things. It doesn't matter. I'm so contaminated by the BS, by the lies and the distortion, the obfuscations, and the misrepresentation, and how this absolute mendacity. I'm at the point now where I'm saying, can somebody please speak the truth? Can somebody just, honest to God, just speak the truth? My friend, what do you think? Am I being unfair? Or are my other colleagues in the realm who do such a tremendous job? Are we being unfair? Are we asking too much? Is this just let's get Erica? Or is there something deeper here? Or are we doing this for the memory of Charlie? Please, my friends, you know the drill. Like this video. Subscribe to our noble channel. We're coming on 400,000. I need your help. Subscribe. Hit that little bell, that little icon, so you'll be notified of live streams and new videos. And I've got some questions for you to answer. I want to hear from you. What do you think, my friends? And I always ask you, as usual, to comment as you see fit. From the heart, without further ado, without hesitation, without trepidation.